Hello and welcome to the second part of this recording on deploying Azure Stack on an Azure virtual machine. So in the last recording, which I highly recommend if you've not seen that, to see that first before seeing this recording, I covered how to deploy a virtual machine in Azure that acts as a Azure Stack host, and then how to deploy Azure Stack deployment development kit on that machine. And then I covered how to complete important post-installation configuration tasks. So we did things like download and set up Azure Stack PowerShell modules, the Azure Stack tools that are published on GitHub, and then how to register the two portals of Azure Stack, which are the admin portal and the tenant portal. So we'll carry on from there. And in this particular recording, I'll show you how to register Azure Stack with the Azure Marketplace, how we can download a Marketplace image to Azure Stack, how we can create offers and subscriptions, and how we can make that available to consumers of our Azure Stack environment, and then deploy a test machine. So that's what I'll try to cover in this particular recording. So we'll get right into that from where we stopped. So again, back to this blog post that accompanies this recording. So we stopped in the post-installation configuration tasks on the section 1. So I'll proceed from section 2 now, which will be following the instructions to register Azure Stack with the Azure Marketplace. So that's roughly around 1 hour 20 minutes to do. But let's open up the URL that we have there and let's follow the steps here. So the very first thing that we want to do is we want to execute this PowerShell command. Again, I highly recommend that you go through to understand the reason why we're doing what we're doing there. So if I go ahead and copy that and move to my machine again, bring up PowerShell, and I'm logged in as admin and I'm still logged in as admin. So I run that. And what we want to do is we want to register Azure Stack with Azure. And for us to do that, we have to run a series of commands. So one of the things that I would highly recommend for you to run this is open a new PowerShell environment. So the reason why I'm saying that is because we're already logged in with a separate credential on the existing PowerShell environment. So I don't want that to interrupt what we're going to be doing here. So I'll run PowerShell as administrator again, and then we'll go through this step. So for this one, we're going to run this series of commands. It's going to ask us when we want to add Azure Hiram Account to specify the credential to connect to our Azure environment. Now, up until now, we've been using the user accounts that we created in the prerequisite section of the last recording. We've been using that account up until now whenever we're entering anything that has to do with Azure AD. But in this particular case, do not use that account when you're prompted to log in. Instead, use the account that has full admin rights to your Azure environment. That's your full Azure admin account is what you use to authenticate and complete this section. So just remember that. Do not use the same user account. And I think I mention that here. So I did mention, so let's see, use your normal Azure AD admin account and not the Azure AD user account that we created earlier, as this account does not have the necessary permission. So it's important to keep that in mind. So let's go ahead and copy the script. And just for my own knowledge, my account, I'm currently logged in to, let's see, let's go under Azure Active Directory. Let me make sure I have my Active Directory all good. So actually I'm logged into this other one at the moment. So let's make sure that it's all good. Okay, and the user that I'm currently logged in as is, okay, got it. So let's go ahead and run the script. So I paste that script, it's gonna prompt me, put in Azure AD admin this time, not the user that we gave global admin rights. That won't work. If you try that, you'll probably get an error message about subscription ID being missing. So I'll type in EQT pass and because I'm using a UK keyboard, I need to change that. So press enter to that, enter my password. And that logs me in. It's going to register and it's going to ask for cloud admin password. So I put in a password. So the same password that I've been using, so I put in there. And what it's going to do in this case is it's going to register Azure Stack environment. It's going to register that with Azure environment. And one of the things that we'll see if I go back to my Azure environment, if I go on the resource groups, is it's going to create a new resource group called Azure Stack. So it's not yet created, but we're going to see that done here in a few minutes. So it's going to do a few things. So let's see how long, because I think I may have a note somewhere of how long this will take. So this probably should not take too long to complete. So let's go back to our environment and see what's going on. So it's still creating. What I'll do is I'll go ahead and pause this recording. Let's refresh this. So it's still working behind the scenes. What I'll do is I'll pause the recording, and once this is completed, I'll resume the recording, and then I'll show you how I can go under Marketplace Management and take advantage of this connection to download an image from Azure into Azure Stack that I can make available to consumers. So I'll see you in a few minutes. And welcome back. So the process completed already. And if I go back to the Azure portal and if I refresh resource groups, you see this new resource group called Azure Stack here. If I click on that and I can see anything under this. If I select the option to show hidden types, now you can see the Azure Stack registration resource there. So that's type Microsoft.Azure Stack/registrations. And you can see more information over there. So that's for the other one. So let's go through the rest of the process. So the next thing that we'll do now is, having done this, is let's go ahead and download an image from Azure Stack. So that's following these instructions there, which we can use to get an image from Azure into Azure Stack. So we go under the Azure Stack administration portal on the marketplace management. We'll add from Azure, and we're going to add an Ubuntu 16.04 LTS image. We're going to download that. That's going to take roughly about 1 hour to finish. So I'll have to pause the recording and resume once that's completed. But I'll go ahead and show you that process here. So if you've not yet logged into, you can log into adminportal.local.azurestock.external. So that's what you want to connect to. So that adminportal.local.azurestock.external. Then once you're on the portal, click on Marketplace Management. If it prompts you to log into the portal, if you're not already logged in, you're going to be logging in with the Azure AD user that you marked as a global admin that we created in the prerequisite section. So I'll go ahead and click Marketplace Management here, and I'll go ahead and click Add from Azure. So it's going to take me to the Azure Marketplace because I've linked the Azure Stack account with my Azure account. So, and then I can search, for example, for Ubuntu server, and I press enter, and I can see Ubuntu server image here. So I want the Ubuntu server 16.04 LTS. So if I go ahead and select that, so you can see that's 30 gigabyte in size. So that's a lot. So, but if I go ahead and select that, and I can click on download, And what will happen is once I click on download, it's going to say that it's downloading. I can see in the notification section that it's downloading this product from the Azure marketplace. So what I'll do is I'll pause the recording. Once, actually, you know what? Let's do this. Rather than me pause the recording here, it's currently downloading the image from the marketplace. Let me move on to the next step. We can always come back to the image. So the next step is I want as an admin of Azure Stack, people that are consuming my Azure Stack, I want them to be able to deploy this image. So I've got to create a plan and offer for them to be able to do that. So this is not again an explanation of Azure Stack, just a demo, but just to give you a few information on what I'm about to do. So that's why I want to do is I want to create a plan, and then I want to create an offer, and then I'll make that offer public. So the offer will be kind of like your subscription. So the users of Azure Stack can go and subscribe to that offer, and then they have that subscription, and then they can consume whatever resources that are part of that, and to the extent of whatever quota that they've been assigned. So let's go ahead and do that. So what I'll do is for me to be able to do this, I'll need to log into both the Azure Stack admin portal and the Azure Stack tenant portal, and you have the URLs here for both of them. So the difference is one is admin portal.local.azurestack.external, the other one is portal.local.azurestack.external. So let's create a plan and an offer that can be used for deployment. So to do that, I need to do this on the admin portal, not on the tenant portal. So I'll need to create a plan. So let's go ahead and do that now. Let's create a plan. So let's go back to here. So while that is downloading, I'll go ahead and click on plans over there, and I'll click on add a plan. And it asks for the display name. I'll put in virtual machines 1 as the display name. So the resource name, it took that from the display name. The resource group, I'll go ahead and create a new resource group. I'll call this, let's call this name. So I have a name here. How G offers and plans 1. So what services do I want to offer as part of this plan? I can go ahead and select services. In this case, I'll select compute, network, and storage, because whenever you create a virtual machine, it's not just compute that you're using compute, you're using network, and you're using storage. So that's why I've selected those three. I'll go ahead and click on select. So now I have to specify the quota for those three services. So rather than creating custom quota, I'll just go ahead and select the default for the three of them. And I'll go ahead and click OK. So I have my services and my quotas, and I'll go ahead and click on create. And that's going to create the plan. So once the plan has successfully created, the next point will be to create what's called an offer, which is what people will actually subscribe to. They'll subscribe to the offers. So this should not be long to complete the creation of the plan. And then I can go on the offers there. So the plan is successfully created. So I go here and I click on offers. And on the offers, I click on add to add a new offer. So for the display name of the offer, I'll call this virtual machines 1 again. And for the resource group, I'll use existing and select the RG offers and plans 1 resource group I created earlier. For the base plan is where I select the plan that I specified earlier, and I click on select. And I'll go ahead and click on create. So I'm tying in my offer as part of, my plan within the offer. So once that is done, which again, that should not take too long, is I'll take the offer that I created. So in order for my users to be able to subscribe to this offer, I have to either assign it to them, or I need to make it public. So what I'll do in this case is I'll go ahead and make it public so that anyone can subscribe to this offer. So I'll go ahead and click on virtual machines, and you can see here it says you have an offer, it's private, people cannot see it. I can again go ahead and assign this to people, but rather than do that, what I'll do is I'll go on the properties and I can see the properties of my offer there. So what I'll do on the settings, and I'll go on the offer settings, and I have the option here where it is accessibility state and it's set to private. So I'll change that to public and I'll click on save. And it says offer updated successfully. So having done this, now I can go to the tenant portal, and if I've any user that I've given permission to the tenant portal can now go to subscribe to that offer. So which is what I'll do next. So now from the tenant portal, if I go to, let's go on the more services, and I'll select subscriptions here. So I have it accessible to me on the left hand side. So I'll click on subscriptions and I'll go ahead and add a subscription. So I have no subscription. So what I want to do is I can go ahead and click on offer and subscribe to an offer that's available. Either it's been assigned to me or I can subscribe for one that's publicly available. So I'll select one that's publicly available and I'll go ahead and click on create. So it's going to refresh the portal for me to start using my subscription. So after I refresh the portal, if I click on subscriptions here, then I can see my subscription there and I can see the subscription ID. So now what I can begin to do is once this product has finished downloading, which I'll go back on the marketplace management, and I can see that it's still downloading. So I'll wait for it to finish downloading. And once it's finished downloading, using the subscription that I have, I will go ahead and deploy this Ubuntu virtual machine using that image, and then we'll see how that works. So I'll see you in a few minutes time. Welcome back. So the download completed successfully, and you can see the status here says succeeded. So once that is done and I have this image available on Azure Stack now, if I go ahead and log in to the Azure Tenant Portal, I'll recommend using a private window or an incognito window, which I currently have here. And I'm logging into the tenant portal this time. So on the tenant portal, if you don't have virtual machines here, you can always click on more services and select virtual machines here, or you can click the start to make it available on the left column here. So if I click on virtual machines, and I can either click on add or create virtual machines. So if I click on add, I can see the image there. So if I select my image and I can click on create. So very similar to what we're familiar with Microsoft Azure. The only difference is we're working with Azure Stack now. So let's click on create again, and I'll call this Ubuntu 01. Give it a username and specify password. Create a new resource group called Ubuntu G, and the location you can see here is local. So if I go ahead and click OK to that, and I can select the VM size, I will just go ahead and select T1 V2 for now. And I'll leave everything as the default, including public IP. I'll remove monitoring because it's just for testing, and I'll go ahead and click on OK. And then once the validation has passed, I can go ahead and click on OK. And then it's going to begin the deployment of my virtual machine on Azure Stack. So I can monitor the deployment progress from here. And if I click on refresh, I can see once it starts to deploy the different resources that are needed. So while it's doing that, I'll just go ahead and download PuTTY. Because it's an Ubuntu machine, I need to be able to connect via SSH. So I'll go ahead and download and install PuTTY on my machine. Oh, I need to enable file download first to do that. So let's try that again and run. So now I have Putty installed on my machine. So let's refresh this. Shouldn't take too long, and you can see that it's already started deploying the different resource types that's needed. It's deployed the virtual network, the IP, the network security group, and it's currently deploying the compute, the virtual machine itself. So what I'll do is I'll pause this recording. Once this has completed successfully, I should be able to, from my machine, connect to the public IP, which would be a private IP in this case, but software-defined networking has already been set up so that I will be able to connect to this machine via its public IP or its designated public IP address. So I'll see you once this completes. And welcome back. So the deployment completed now, and I can click on go to resource there, and it takes me to my virtual machine resource in Azure Stack. And you can see the public IP address there, 192.168.102.32. If I go ahead and enter that, 192.168.102.32 SSH port 22, and I click on open, you can see that I'm connecting to that. And if I go ahead and type in my username, which I entered as Azure admin, and type in my password, and I'm connecting to my Ubuntu machine that's running on Azure Stack right now. So that's really cool. So we have Azure Stack running, and then of course we can do all kinds of tests that we want to do from within this Azure Stack environment. And the beauty of this is all running on an Azure virtual machine. So I didn't need to shell out a lot of money to buy a bunch of expensive hardware to test this. So that's it for now. I hope these videos or this video series has been very helpful to you. If you have any feedback or any comment, please feel free to leave in the description below. And I look forward to seeing you in the next recording. Bye for now.